Hi lovers, hi, how are you guys doing? Hilma Daniel here. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to my channel, guys. I'm having a concern. I'm having a very serious concern. You know, I'm scrolling down my TikTok and I'm coming across a woman and she's saying me and my baby that people change. She's saying this. There's no way of choosing the best baby daddy for your children because people change. Before we made a baby, me and my baby daddy were so close like this, and after we made a baby we were not close. We're not close anymore. A lot of nonsense happened and we are not close anymore. And I know this is I've seen a lot of people going through this. This is my story. Yeah? It's my story as well. Me and my husband, before we got pregnant, we were like this. Yeah? People that knew us, they would look at us like we were like siblings. Not only did we look alike, we loved each other so much, we protected each other, we cared for each other so much. I never felt like anyone was on top of me in my husband's life. And I don't care who you are. If you come for me or if you piss me off, you will protect me. That's what I felt. Yeah? I felt correctly loved. Me in my dating life, guys, I could brag for days. I could confidently say, me, my boyfriend loves me, guys. Yeah? Me, I'm loved correctly. That's what I felt in my dating life. I felt loved. I didn't know how it feels to be ignored. I didn't know how it feels to call and nobody's speaking up. I didn't know how it feels to look for his attention. And because he was always available. Ne? My husband was so extremely way too available that we were always together. If we are not at my place, we are at his place. He gave me money. If he just gets money, he gives me money. Ne? I don't give men money, ne? But he gives me money. It was just a beautiful relationship. Ne? I felt loved, guys. I felt loved. More especially for the first 2 to 3 years. The year that we got married, after we started with these preparations of marriage, it started shaking a little bit, but not really to pregnancy. I became pregnant. And I'm just like, who are you? Whose child are you? Who are you? Where did you come from? Because, you know, when I'm explaining to people, I say, he gave me a 360-degree turn. I'm like, who are you? Whom are you? What are you? Ne? I want to go back to a few things. Ne? Before I met my husband, I had he's still my friend. Ne? He's still my friend, but we are not like close friends like that. Ne? He's a married man. And one day, on one of those dates, he comes to Windhoek. He doesn't stay in the city. He comes to Windhoek. And he was like, oh, where are you? I'm like, wait, let me take you out for lunch. He used to like taking me out for lunch and then we just catch up. And then we go sit, no? When we are seated, he's just a man that my aunt gave to us. We were getting a cab to the north. And he said, oh, I know this man. Please take my children's. And then he took us, me and my sister. So me and him, we became close. We had a lot of things in common. Choirs, reasoning, and everything. So we became friends. Such a friendly man. One day we are having a conversation. Ne? And then he says to me, oh, you guys, you need to be very careful. If you're not careful, babies are nice. Ne? They're nice. But they can break a relationship. Babies are nice. They bring so much joy, but they can break a relationship. If the two of you are not careful, they can break a relationship. Ne? I didn't have a baby. I didn't have a stable relationship. I was in and out of relationships, getting hurt left, right, center. I didn't feel the need to want to understand what he is saying. I wish I could, but I didn't. Ne? I didn't really ask him to say, what do you mean? I was just like, I'm married people's problems. I'm not a married woman. Besides, I'm very much single. I don't even have a husband. I don't even see any potential here. But I had hope that one day I was going to get married. I had hope. Okay. Now, I became pregnant. Yeah, let me leave him there. I became pregnant. When I became pregnant, I called one of my very, very close person. Yeah? And I said, yeah, I'm pregnant. And then she says, you are excited. You need to be very careful because men change. You need to be careful. Men change. You might just find that person is like, no, he's the one that asked for the baby. This is me being stubborn. Eh? He's the one that asked for the baby. We were so happy to make our son. We made our son and we were happy. And I was like, but he's the one that asked for the baby. And then she's like, it doesn't matter. He can ask for the baby. But when I told him he's excited, it doesn't matter. He can ask for the baby. He can be excited. And then I don't know what happened there. Woo, didn't I see flames, guys? I saw flames. I swear to God, I saw flames. If there is a moment my whole life in any relationship that I've seen flames was during my pregnancy with my son. I saw flames to a point that even when I became pregnant now, I became a problem. I didn't allow anybody to become a problem. I became a problem because I was so traumatized that I said, I'm not going to go through that. Never again. My brain was so on 110 protective modes. I was so protective of myself. And I also want to make it clear that after that treatment, I never loved my husband the same. I never loved him the same because I was so angry at him. I was mad at him. I wanted answers. I was like, how do you treat me like this when I needed you the most? Yeah? Now, in the middle of everything, I spoke to elderly ladies, as elder as 60 years, 70 years. And I was like, this person is not, this is not love. This is not what I saw a few years back. This is not love. And, in me speaking to different women, they're like, I never loved my husband during pregnancy. I just hated him. I didn't even like what I didn't even like, just silly things. Ne? So, guys, I think we need to talk about this. I think we need to iron something here. And we need to iron something here for the next boy child and the next girl child. Ne? And I don't know how it feels to hate anyone during pregnancy. Ne? I don't know. But one thing that I've realized is that pregnancies are not the same. I'm going to bring differences in pregnancies later, not now. Ne? I'm going to bring them at a later stage, what I've experienced with my 2 pregnancies, ne? In a different video. Ne? Just pregnant-wise, but this is for women. This is not for women. This is for both us women and men. Ne? If you are a young woman and you are not pregnant yet, don't give a man a child. And this is why. Unless you want the child yourself, people change. Ne? People change during pregnancy. And I don't know why. And I think I also want to understand why. Is it something that you guys deliberately do? Because I'm still finding closure. I'm still healing until today of that act. I realize that I'm not forgiving. I'm still angry. Sometimes it comes in my brain, but I'm trying to work on it so that we move forward. But my question is, do you guys do us dirty deliberately, or is it something that triggers is it something caused by the pregnancy itself, that you just don't like us, that you just hate your partner at that particular point in time? We need to understand. Do you guys deliberately do it? Men, come here. I think men, you need to come and tell us that. Do you just hate us? Like you hate us on purpose, or it's something natural, it's something that comes naturally that you just hate us and you don't know it's a pregnancy that is affecting. What is happening? Because when the baby comes and you love, I remember now when the baby came and my husband loves my husband loves his son, guys. Yeah? I'm not happy. I'm like, why are you even loving the child when you didn't like me like that? Why? At the back of my mind, yeah? And I'm being honest. But I'm picking up that a lot of women are going through this. However, I don't know much about men. But when I spoke to a few elderly women, they are telling me that they didn't like their husbands. I spoke to one friend of mine back in the days and she told me that her husband was going through her boyfriend, not husband, was the one going through the symptoms of pregnancy and she didn't go through the symptoms of pregnancy. So, in all honesty, I do not know how to not like anyone during pregnancy. When it comes to my brain, my thoughts, I'm a normal person. I've seen a lot of people, more especially at work. I've seen women, two maybe of them, that were bashing me that apparently when I become pregnant, I'm going to be very, very rude. Yeah. And I saw one being rude towards people during pregnancy and I didn't understand. I didn't understand why they were saying that. And then they're like, yeah, when you become pregnant, people change. Maybe some people become rude. Maybe some people become, but pregnancy doesn't affect me to that point of liking and hating people. No, it doesn't. It didn't. Ne? It didn't affect me to a point where I'm like, I just don't like you. Ne? No, to me, I'm just living my normal life. However, it have affected me differently with symptoms like vomiting, feeling sick, and others just feeling normal. Ne? Thank you very much. Oh, Lila. Importante kutuman. Ningira nje ma faili soft ina ikaramuni na microwave. I'm sorry for that, ne? I'm sorry for that, guys. Now, I'm sorry for that. I'm not even gonna cut it, ne? I'm gonna cut it. Some people get affected differently, no? Now, I'm just here to say, guys, we need to have an open discussion around this thing so that we can prepare our brains. No? So that we can prepare our brains. Sometimes we prepare our brains, but we don't know to what extent. To what extent we should prepare our brains. As a young child who's just entering into a relationship or a marriage and their partner ends up not liking them, how should we look at this issue? Should we look at it like you are being I don't want to use the word, you are just being a bad person? Or because I sometimes really look back, né? And I am like, I became a problem to my marriage after that. Né? Because after I was treated bad, I didn't know how to love. I was like, how do you treat me bad, bruh? How do I love you so much and then you treat me like this? You know, how? I love you way too much for you to do this to me. How do you do this? Ne? And I think from there I was never a good wife. I never really loved like that. Ne? We can sometimes we need to be honest. I never really loved like that. Ne? I was just existing. I was just like, okay, we are here now, so but never really like that. Ne? And this type of, when you don't love like that, also in your head, it affects your sexual life. It affects your sexual life to other mistakes, to cheating, to, you know, it does. Now, we need to teach the next child to say that if you are entering a marriage, are these deliberate mistakes? Thank you very much. Now, we need to are these deliberate mistakes or are they natural cause? Because there's no way, I'm starting to ask a question to say there's no way, guys, that the number of us can be complaining about bad treatment during pregnancy. It's either on men's side or women. Women also treat men bad, some of them. Ne? Just because I realized that most men don't speak up. They're not coming here to say my woman treated me bad during pregnancy, but they are men that have received bad treatment during pregnancy. Women, if you have treated your men during pregnancy, come here and explain to us what was happening. What was happening? Tell us. No? And really, men, honestly, let us have an open discussion and tell us what really happens here. Is it mistakes that you people are doing on purpose so that we forgive you also? Or is it a natural thing? No? Because sometimes some of us, we don't forgive. Oh, God. Just like that. Yeah. Now, as we are hit for life. Because if it's deliberate, then we have to let it be. But if it's otherwise, we need to understand. So come here, let us have a discussion. I've never treated somebody bad, but I've been treated bad during my first pregnancy. With my second pregnancy, I must be very honest to say that I went on a defense mechanism very fast because I was so traumatized. I didn't want to experience it. So I was very, very overprotective of myself. I should admit maybe I was a problem. I don't know. But I went in a shield fast, real quick. I say to myself, I'm not getting hurt twice. And I'm not getting hurt twice. No? No. Guys, pregnant women, it's a lot. Now, let's talk. No? I know some people are going to come and say, hey, stop eating. We wanted to watch, but I'm not watching anymore. It's okay. Let me end here and say, let us have a good day so that I finish eating. I can't wait. I don't like cold food. I like my food hot. Yeah? I don't want it to get hot, cold, then I won't enjoy it anymore. So, let us have a discussion in the comments down below. Talk about pregnancies. Also, if it's scientifically proven somewhere, somehow, bring it to us so that we understand, so that we know what we are getting ourselves into. So that I even spoke to one lady and I told her, be careful. Don't have so much confidence like that. You know, when a pregnancy comes, I was also warned. I never took it serious. And then she said, no, he won't do me like that. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, okay. And I remember exactly telling my one of the close people the same thing, that no, my husband won't do me like that. Didn't he do me like that? He did me like that. He did me like that. Okay. Now, tell us, what is it with pregnancy? Women, if you have been bad, tell us what was happening on your side. Men, if you have been bad, do you really love us, guys, or you don't love us? Make it clear to us. We want to know. Let us open a discussion down below. Really have this discussion. No? Sorry for eating, but I'm a pregnant woman, very, very heavily pregnant, and I have to eat. No? I'm so sorry. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys in my next video.